Welcome folks to the V8 Veterans. It is split number 2 for round number 7 of this Season 11 Championship. And tonight we have a special intro plan because we are running the Anzac livery rounds tonight. And I thought we'd just quickly have a bit of a chat. And tonight we're going to dedicate, of course, to all our Anzacs and all our men and servicewomen who have served this great nation over so many years and given so much that we can have such a great free land. And Richard Barella was happy enough to send me this fantastic picture of his grandfather, who we've spoke about, I think, last night and also last week. And he's one of 101 Australians to be awarded the Victoria Cross for his service for our country. And it's an incredible story, which I'm sure Richard's happy to share. But he was awarded that in 1918, of course, World War I. And tonight we race in memory of all those Anzacs, our servicemen and women, of course, and this great free land. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget. V8 Veterans, let's get into this tonight thanks to Quantum Tint Solution. And it is a great race last night for Split 1. What can Split 2 do tonight? Will we see safety cars? That 2-stop strategy with some drivers choosing 3 stops last night was very tricky in the end. Let's go straight down now and read through the grid. And it is Scott Gamble who has put it on pole position tonight with Travis Hunt P2. Warren Davis starts on the second row tonight for PRA. Great drive out of 3 with Matty Parker alongside Paul Hayes. We'll line up on the third row with Jason DiPetito, Aidan Rice, Andrew Hoffman, Rick Viger and Michael Freeman to round out your top 10 tonight. Scott Weston, then we'll start from 11th with Jason Scally, your top 12. 13th on the grid is Troy Sipple from Pecky Performance with Todd Duggan next to him. Mark Peck will start from 15th with John King. Down there in 16th place, Peter Vanderkrant starts from 17th with Tim Betts, Fewens and Healy, your top 20. Quaney 57 out of 21st tonight with Simon Pitt. Wayne Lecomte down there in 23rd, Peter Latham 24th. 25th on the grid, big grid. It's Wayne Lecomte. Sorry, it's Dave Bordock, 25th with Dave Worrell. Next to him, it's the Battle of the Daves out of 25th and 26th. Todd Martin starts from 27th with Roy Clark. And you've got Andrew Galley, Sean Slater down there with Simon Farrington. And Richard Barella, Peter Kelleher down the back in 34th place on the grid. And the drivers now getting set for a start. And it is a good long run down towards the first Tamborello chicane as well. So who's going to come out on top? We're going to know shortly. We're just waiting on a couple of drivers still to grid up here tonight. They get about 2 to 3 minutes of staging time. But I'm excited for this one. 300 kilometers again tonight. So it is a big race and a big one to get underway as we have now officially got through and past the halfway point of this season 11 affair. Hello to everyone that's tuning in. Welcome aboard and let's get set for some action tonight. And of course, jump into the chat. I'll try and highlight as many comments as possible. If you're here to see someone in particular, as always, let me know so we can get them up on the screen. We're getting a good look at the starter here. He's just waiting for the final couple of drivers to grid up. And you can see there is a long shot and a run down towards turn 1 where we're going to see plenty of action. And of course, last night we saw people jumping with pit stop strategy. We saw a pretty aggressive pit stop strategy from some drivers that chose to come in a little bit earlier and try for the 3 stoppers. Didn't seem to work out though. Some did okay out of it. G'day Keith, g'day Brad Hayes as well, and everyone over on YouTube. We've got the crowd, we've got the party happening over there. Don't forget tonight as well, straight after this broadcast, we do have WKMP TV sharing the Split 3 race as well. So fantastic. We should be set for a start shortly. They're really holding the drivers tonight. We'll hear the revs rise shortly and get underway. Big thanks again to Dave Bordock for supplying the replay file. Absolute legend. And here we go. Keith with 100 stars to kick off the party tonight. Let's get set for a green light. in about 8 or so seconds. We have hit the 3 minutes of staging, and Scott Gamble, who has been so good since coming back, he's got himself pole position tonight. Can he streak away off into the distance and take himself another victory? Here we go. They revs rise here. V8 Supercars for the V8 veterans, all the drivers over the age of 40, and it's a great getaway. Gamble got away well, so did Hunt and Davis. It was Tibetito just falling back slightly. Hoffman and Freeman both made up a position as they raced down towards this chicane for the first time. We got contact. Someone's gone on it at high speed. I think that is... was it Warren Davis? It was. He rejoins. Gamble leads from Hunt. Davis has come back in 4th place. He'll need to work out where he needs to slot back in after that big moment. So a little bit of a hip and shoulder, I think, heading towards the chicane, send him out onto the grass, and there was a passenger. He did very well to get it under control and not spear off into the barrier. So as we head up the hill for the first time, Gamble by 0.3 of a second over Hunt, Parker, Tibetito, and the biggest mover in the top 10, Jason Scala, up 3 spots. Todd Duggan also made up 3 spots, chasing the incredible drive that his brother did last night in the top split. So Todd doing a great job. The top 2 already starting to streak away down the hill. How incredible is this? As we look back, Aiden Rice is in the barrier. Rice off at the start. Now someone else in there as well. I think that was Timmy Betts. And Betts is sideways across the track. He's in all sorts. We'll try and pick him up. There he is. So plenty of damage on that car as well. And we could have our first safety car tonight. We'll wait and hear from the race control and see what's going to go on. But that was a big shunt into the barrier. Rice and Hayes got together. No further action on that one from race control. And McQueen Vanderkran, no further action as well. A drive-through penalty for Paul Hayes for causing an incident with Andrew Hoffman on lap 1. So that's going to be coming through shortly from race control as well. So that's Paul Hayes getting the drive-through penalty on that one. There's a little bit of a shot at the start as they cross the line for lap 1. Gamble in the lead. Just watch the getaway, pretty good at the front. Then watch the hip and shoulder down into this very part of the track we're watching in the big screen towards this Tamburello chicane. It was Warren Davis just getting sent out into the grass. In fact, both drivers went out there, and they did very well to not have a 10-pin bowling moment there and take about 10 cars with them. So very lucky to get away with that one. Right, Gamble leads. Looking back from his car now, you can see behind him it is Travis Hunt, Matt Parker, Jason Tibetito. They're right there with him as well. Dennis Davis, Duggan, Scala, Viger, Rice and John King inside your top 10. Fantastic job. Aiden Rice now just gets past King, and excellent effort. He moves himself up into the top 9 now as they head up the hill. There's damage on I think it's Scala's car, isn't it? Yeah, the front bonnet missing off that car. Rick Viger's tucked in behind as well. And then Aiden Rice very close in the tow. Let's jump on board with him now. And let's run. Oh, we've got a car off the track. That is Scala going out to the left-hand side and onto the runoff area down the bottom of the hill. Comes back on. And, well, I think he's rejoined. He has rejoined down in 14th place. So quite a few positions lost on this opening couple of laps tonight. Expecting the drivers in around lap 22, pending safety cars. And if we can get through 22 laps without a safety car, well, should be out of fuel around that time. There's a good shot there at the Taipan eSports Aiden Rice machine with that Anzac delivery. How cool is that? And Roy Clark says, was his mowing service. I love it. I haven't even had a chance to get through all the comments yet. You guys are on fire on YouTube. And as I said, Brad Hayes saying, hello Luke and welcome everyone. Keith Logan saying, g'day vets, g'day again, Golden Tonsils. Thank you to the past and present servicemen and women. And yeah, it is great to be able to highlight that. I was a little bit nervous to read the video, but hopefully it was okay and did it justice, because I tell you what, I did spend a little bit of time, and I might read a little bit through during the race if we go to a safety car period as Hoffman goes off the track into the fence. And that is not ideal for the Hoff. So he's in a little bit of trouble here. Lap 3. Didn't see who he made contact with. Fewens now fights up 10 spots into the top 9. Jason Fewens doing well. Rice is off the track too. He's back on and fighting here with Lacombe and Baldock, who's just in behind. Let's jump on board with Dave Baldock as we race right on the back bar there of Aiden Rice, almost making contact. Here he is, the onboard with the man up the hill. We don't get some of our timing tonight being that it is a replay file. If you're new to watching this split 2 of the V8 veterans, we actually broadcast this from last night's replay file. So some of the telemetry works, some of it doesn't, but we get the gist of things. And Scott Gamble out in front has himself on a great trajectory to win this race. If he can keep this up, he's only 3 laps in, already 7/10 out in front. Looking back, you can see it is Travis Hunt in behind. Travis being consistent too over the last, well, long while. He's been right up there fighting for positions. I've loved the fact that they have locked it into the 3 splits for this season, and each driver gets a chance to run up against regular competitors, which has made it really, really good to just pick your battles and see who you're up against and see how much you're improving as well. These drivers do improve week in, week out, depending on the amount of practice they put in. So this is good. Gamble, Evolution Racing Team out in front, pushing along very well. The Logitech G car obviously running an Anzac livery tonight and looking spectacular. We're going to make a quick little on-the-fly change here to a setting, folks. I do apologise for bringing this up mid-race, but we've got the accelerator on there, and that's not going to be good at all for me tonight if I'm trying to do nice, smooth transitions and this sort of thing, where we can zoom in and see the great paintwork and the effort that's put in by all drivers into the cars. Weston, he's got a shortened version tonight of the Ford Mustang. It is missing the rear assembly. The rear spoiler has completely departed, left the building. He's chasing down Jason Fewens here. So a good little battle between these two. And up 10 spots, Mr. Fewens tonight. He's on fire. Where is he in the chat? Usually he's over there stirring up a little bit of trouble. Haven't seen him yet. Michael Freeman says, still not sure how that incident happened. We didn't really see it, so we've got to run with it. We can't jump back and forward, unfortunately, with this replay to see incidents here and there. But in the pit lane now, we've got Paul Hayes. So he's going to come in first of all and jump in. I'm not sure why. That must be to fix some damage by the looks of things. So, right. Hayes in the pits, Fewens up into 9th place. John King's also progressed up into the top 10. He's 8th now. So a great gain for him off the start. You've got to give a shout out to Richard Barella too. And he does have that information on the side of his car. There you go. Lieutenant Albert Barella, Victoria Cross. And as I said, I was going to talk through a few of the points that were sent through to me as we just look back at what's going on with Michael Quain here. He's got a little bit of damage on the front right, I think, chasing down Todd Martin. So he's right on the tail of Martin. In fact, he's closing up in the slipstream, the old Mates and Sons entrant. He's also not too far behind this Barella battle. So here we go. Looking like he's ready to make a move. Going right out to the edge of the track. I tell you, they use all the track and more, these guys. Let's see how close they get to the white line as well, into the braking zone. I remember watching Brady Myers at my sim racing shop up in Barrel, and he used to pause the replay, get outside the car, look how close he was to the edge of the track, and that is the precision that these guys use and practice the top, the best of the best. That's what they do, and that's why they are so good, so consistent and so fast. Chuck someone like me against these guys, I would be absolutely lapped within a few laps. So is progression and how much quicker they get. Down towards the bottom of the hill now, Quaney 57. It's a good little battle pack here. You got Barella just in front. Quaney goes to the inside of Todd Martin. A little bit of contact there. So, oh, and the wow, that was Freeman, I think, going through. Gee whiz, Michael Freeman did so well to avoid that incident. How did he not T-bone one of those cars? That was incredibly quick reflexes, and he moves himself up into 22nd place. So. Good job by all involved there. Just trying to see, did Quain get more damage? Sean Slater is not too far off that as well. We'll get a quick replay on how that just unfolded. But wowee. I was just saying that this is a battle pack of about 6 cars. Now watch this down the bottom of the hill. There's just a pinch point there, and Quain just threw it down the inside, had a bit of a look. Oh, and it was into the back of Barella. So that's what pinched things up a little bit, and then the contact was made. So they get on with it. Race control says no further action on that one as well. Back to the front, Scott Gamble leading. Let's have a look back from his car now. The gap is still 0.2 of a second, so Travis Hunt really keeping him honest here. He's tucked right up underneath the rear wing. It's Commodore versus Ford, and at the moment it is the Commodore out in front. We've got what is it, 4 Holden Commodores in the top 10. Troy Sipple. And it was Rick Feiger, I think, in fact. Backwards, Rick Feiger's gone right around. You can see the witness marks on the racetrack. And he's going to rejoin just out of the hairpin, isn't it? So up the hill. Leaves a big rip in the grass there for our curator to go and fix up later. Not ideal, of course. As we go back now to the top, battle for 6, and it is Duggan Fewens and John King we're looking at right now on the back of them. You've also got Scott Weston and Troy Sipple. There is the Sipple machine. Big thanks again to Quantum Tint Solutions for all their sponsorship of this series. Hoff said no bonnet, no boot, 20 degrees of left hand down, made it hard. Would make it very, very hard, that's for sure. So enjoying this battle though. Let's have a quick look at the Hoff and pick up where he's at. He's dropped back to 24th place, so 16 spots. And I wonder if we see a little bit of the onboard here, if we can see some of that left hand down. It may not represent over here into our stream. Sometimes those graphics don't come across. But you can just see, let's see when he straightens it up a bit. He's got a bit of left hand down, I think. Let's see. Like I said, he's turning right at the moment there, and the steering wheel looks pretty straight. So the car definitely doesn't look so good. It's done its night's share of fender bender work, that's for sure. Mr. Hoffman back in 24th place. Back to the top, the battle for the lead of the race. It's just stretched out a little bit again now. Gamble, 8 tenths. And what are we, 7 laps in, so a long, long way off that first pit stop. Lap 18, the critical lap if you want to make it a 2-stop strategy. Now, last time we had a safety car on, I think it was lap 12 or 13. And half the field dived in, said, right, taking our first pit stop now. What they did, it committed them to a 3-stop strategy. So you've got to take that gamble, and I think staying out last night, although Mark Duggan did a very good job at it, staying out and making it a 2-stop strategy looked like it was the way to go. We will talk to a few of the drivers throughout the night as well, which I always look forward to. Hopefully get them in if we do get a safety car at some point and have a bit of conversation. How's everyone doing tonight, by the way? Friday night. A big weekend coming up for most, no doubt. I know I've got work both days, so it's never ending at the moment. It's good to relax. So tonight, have a quick drink, have some dinner, and then watch V8 Supercar action. Someone asked before, how old do you need to be in this league? As Gamble just locks the brake on the way in. You've got to be over the age of 40. A lot of these drivers are a lot older than 40, but 40 is the starting age to be involved in the V8 Veterans. It's a very well-run league. 3 splits, over 100 drivers do battle each week, and we broadcast 2 of them, and Johnny Van Ree over at Dr. Carson Parts brings us the 3rd, which is fantastic. As Simon Pitt in the Pity Pit machine goes through now in 13th place. We've got a change of position up the top there, and it's Dibatito going through on Warren Davis. Warren Davis just lighting up the rear tyres. He drops back to 5th place now, and lost about 3-4 car lengths over the crest of the hill to Jace Dibatito. So nice job, Jason. Let's jump on board with him for a little bit. As he runs down the hill, the car up the road is Matty Parker. We haven't even spoken about Matty yet. We're already 8 laps in. He's sitting in 3rd place, and wide through there for Dibatito, trying to carry a lot of speed. And you can see Davis, and then the little dot right at the back of your screen is Todd Duggan. Let's have a look at Matt Parker now. There is Parker. At the moment, the gap from Parker to Dibatito, 2.8 seconds, and it's 2.8 as well forwards to Travis Hunt, that lead battle that he needs to try and stay in touch with here. Matty Parker had a great race last week too. Unfortunately, it didn't all go his way in the end, but he fought back well. Got a good result, but it could have been a lot better. Tonight, he's on a podium position already. Could he get himself up even higher? Maybe a win. It's already 4.1 seconds though as they cross the line. Gamble in the 43, the 43.8, the 43.9 there for Parker. So Parker's on form here to match the race leader. It was a 44.1 for Hunt, and a 45.7 for Dibatito, and a 45.2 for Warren Davis. So quite a drop-off as you look down the order in these competitors tonight. Let's go back to the battle for the 19th, 20th and 21st. It's Wayne Lecomte. Right there, he's got the Anzac livery on his car too, the privateer racing up against Rick Feiger, who's tucked in behind, getting a really good tow. Let's jump in with Rick now, the Angry Birds racing car. He should be able to get through. at the end of this, I call it a straightaway, but it's not really a straightaway. Here we go. George Russell style here on Valtteri Bottas. Will he get the job done? They go wheel to wheel into the Tamburello chicane, and Rick Viger comes out the other side on top. You can see that Michael Quain also now attaches himself to the back of Wayne Lecomte, and also Michael Freeman not too far back. Then it's the Hofbeds and Martin Worrell, Scala, and Hayes, who pitted early, right down into 29th now. Sean Slater rounding out your top 30. Steve Varga in the house says, great 2 days of V8s coming up. How you doing, Luke? I'm doing well, thanks. Peter Latham's in the house as well. Some great looking cars out there, he says. And Scott Weston reckons the Mustang looks pretty sexy without a front and rear wing. It looks different, that's for sure. And what do you reckon, Hoff? He's the man sporting the brand new aerodynamic DRS rear wing, or DRS boot, constantly open DRS, with the big old cold air induction as well on the front. Just take the whole bonnet off. I'm sure that would be so good in the real world to try and keep that on the racetrack with 650 or so horsepower at the back wheels. Scala here as well, attacking the back of Dave Worrell. The back end of that car just squirreling under heavy braking, but he held onto it well. He's dropped one position and Scala's down 16. Hayes dropped 24 spots at the start of this race. It's going to be a long night for them. 300 kilometres around this Imola circuit. It is not one of the easier racetracks to come to, and then try and keep your concentration levels high for that amount of time. I know I always found it really hard to get this track right, especially in a V8 Supercar. I think I only did 1 or 2 dev races here, but found it super hard to get the turn in to work, and just the front end of the car. I know they get a really good setup from Jamie McKnight, but just to get the setup to work was always so hard. As Scala gets very interested here, he's having a look and just being patient, which is good, playing the long game, and that's what you want to do in these 300k's race. He's got a great exit out of there. He might even get an overlap into the second chicane here. He goes down the inside on the 25 car, beautiful job. Moves himself up now into the top 27. The comeback for the KFC car has begun. Back to your HSR driver up in 4th place, Jason Dibattito for Hypersonic Racing. We saw the Hypersonic Racing boys last night, one of them on the podium, and it's great to see them out there competing hard, and they're, I think 5 or 6 of them driving in the improved production series that we're putting on here, or that we're broadcasting here on RACESTARS TV. And I tell you what, they're all getting quicker as a group. I know they train as a group, they practice as a group, and they are a force to reckon with. And how about last night, seeing Greg Favell take his maiden win in the Taipan eSport colours as well. I know Ben Anthony was very happy with that. Great new signing for them. Gamble still leads the race, and there is your gap, 0.6 of a second. At this stage, the top 2 have broken away, 6.7, 6.8 seconds now back to 3rd position. So they are looking pretty comfortable. And well, that can all change though with the safety car, but if they can run it through, like I said, lap 22 is probably where we expect to see all the drivers come in with the fuel light flashing and their crew chief saying you've got to stop now or else you're going to run out of fuel. Lap 22 or so, and if we don't get a safety car before then, I think everyone will commit to that 2-stop strategy. I don't think anyone would just go out there and try a 3-stopper. It's never going to be quicker in this world of iRacing. Gamble taking a lot of the exit part of the chicane there. You've got to be careful you don't get yourself a slowdown when doing that as he runs down the hill. The gap out for the first time now over 1.2 seconds. So it's just starting to gather a little bit of momentum there, Gamble. The last lap was a 44.0 for him. Let's keep an eye on those sliding out lap times at the top of your screen. Jumping on board here with Simon Pitt as he chases down Peter van der Kraan. This is for 12th place, so on board with him over that chicane I was just talking about. Van der Kraan completely missed it. He decided to go the easy route. Pitt slams over it and says, right, I'm on your tail, let's make this work. He goes down into what is the second to last corner now. Very hard braking zone to get right as well. You trail the brake just halfway in, then roll out off the apex, and then you just try and square off this final corner, because if you get this wrong, if you did get that wrong too, you just hear him get out of the throttle as it got a little bit squirrely on him. If you get that wrong, you lose momentum all the way down this big, long, hit, straighty curve, wiggly sort of straight thingy, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely not a straight. But then down into the Tamburello chicane, and they used to just go straight through there at high speed. Obviously, this racetrack was converted to have a chicane there after the tragic death of Ayrton Senna back in 1994. It's a long, long time ago now, isn't it? It still lives very much in my memory, though. I remember watching that race as a kid, and went to bed because of the red flag. In fact, I was only about 12, I think, at the time. Woke up and heard the news on the radio that my hero had lost his life at this very racetrack, and I'll never forget that moment. As a young fella, it was stuck in my head. It always has. And tragic weekend of motor racing, obviously with Roland Ratzenberger, Rubens Barrichello, also with a big shunt. I think it was in the Friday practice, and I read a great article once that talked about the fact that Rubens Barrichello woke up from his, I'm not sure he went into a coma, but he blacked out at least for quite a while. But he woke up and he had his good mate Ayrton Senna in the room with him. And Ayrton had gone after the day to see how Rubens was at the hospital, and 2 days later, Ayrton was gone. So tragic circumstances that surround this racetrack, which I don't think you can come here and watch a sim race or a real life race without thinking about it. But it is a real ultimate driver's circuit to try and get right. And Scott Campbell at the moment, with a 3.2 second lead, is absolutely in control. Look back in the pack for some battles now. Here goes Roy Clark. He's lining up Peter Latham, and he goes for the overtake. So he goes down the inside into the chicane. Job done. Thank you very much, he says. Now he's got Craig Healy next up the road. Latham's going to try and come back at him. And here he goes. So Peter Latham, he wants a piece of this action back. They've got Healy in front and Simon Pitty Pitt running in 13th place. So it looks like Roy Clark's made that stick, and he's done it very well. You can see Aidan Rice in the background. Also just moving up and down and moving around the back tyres. 13 laps in, not feeling so great. So up the hill. We've also got this battle with Scott Weston. I'll tell you what, he's also... it's Scott Weston running the shortened version of the Ford Mustang too. What is with all the short Mustangs tonight? That's been belted in the back end, but I think in the back right-hand side it's pushed in a little bit further. And Troy Sippel getting a good look at that, probably saying, hey mate, what's the go with your car? It looks a little bit worse for wear. Can he get past him? I don't think iRacing still has done anything to introduce a lack of downforce if you do lose that rear boot assembly, which I would love to see. I think having the visual graphics of it is good to be able to lose body parts off the car, but surely, as Troy Sippel gets a little bit sideways, surely having also the physical side of it should be a big part of it. Obviously, when they are striving for dominance and people recommending iRacing on physics alone, R-Factor 2 I think still has maybe the upper hand on the driver's physics, but the looks we get here and the graphics are definitely leading the way with iRacing these days. It's funny when you think about iRacing, because many years ago it didn't look so good. They've really stepped up the game in the last 10 or so years, maybe even in the last 5 or 6 years. iRacing's really turned up the wick when it comes to the graphical side of things, which is great to see. Scott Weston confirming that he got belted on lap 1. I think we did see that actually, but that's why he's got the shortened version tonight of the Type N eSports Anzac livery number 052 running around out there at the moment. Jason Dipatito, he's got Warren Davis just starting to get closer again. So Davis, who dropped back slightly, remember he had that big moment at the start of the race, he's now just re-engaged. And let's jump down onto the nose camera here with Warren. Let's see if he can close up and maybe go for an overtake. Davis, Progression Racing Australasia, inside the top 5, doing a really good job tonight. And he qualified well. He's lost 2 positions, so from 3rd back to 5th in the race. He's starting to fight back now, isn't he? It's great to see the variations that PRA have in their liveries. They have their personal sponsors on the doors, plus the team sponsorship over the cars, which is great. Big thanks again to Dave. We haven't seen too much of tonight. Let's find him. He's in 21st place. Kathy's pet portrait's on the side of that car, and this is the man that supplies the replay file most weeks. So thanks, Dave. I actually had to go looking for it tonight. For some reason, the link that I usually go find the replay file on was not working, and I ended up downloading 2 different races. One was last week's Split 2 race, which I just didn't read the title properly. The other one was Split 1 from last night. I've re-downloaded that, so I think I've spent 8.5 gig of downloading before I even got the right file tonight, which was 4.4 gig. So 12.5 gig of downloading later. Thank God for cable internet. It only took about 10 minutes or 5 minutes to get 4.5 gig, but 12.5 all up. I finally got the right replay file. So thanks, Dave, for your ongoing effort, mate. And I'm sure all the Split 2 drivers appreciate it, being able to see themselves on a Friday night. Righto, here goes the Hoff, challenging up the hill. Can he get this done? Let's jump on board with him. He's going to go wheel to wheel with the Kathy's Pet Portraits entrant, and there you go. Oh, Dave coming back around the outside, trying to go at him. And the short version of the Holden Commodore, the Hoff in control, comes out on top. Down to the bottom of the hill he goes, the Becky Performance Racing car. He might lose a bit of his sponsorship payment for tonight, Hoff, because there's a fair bit of sponsorship missing off the front and back of that one. Battle raging between Healy and Latham. Latham still tucked in behind. He can't get past at this stage. And look at, wow, Latham closing right up again on his tail. I like this. This is aggressive. Lap 16. We're 2 laps off now where the 2-stop strategy can take effect. And who is it going to be? Latham's got a good drive here as well. He may try and get past Healy. Here he goes. Gets alongside. I love that Anzac Day livery as well. And the 65 car. A bit of a hiccup there in the braking zone for Craig Healy. I'm not sure if that's to do with the replay file, but it did sound a little bit rough on the downshift. And you can see Healy now in behind Peter Latham. Good overtake. He set that up a long way back. Really, really good run. A little bit forwards in the pack. 7th place we're looking at now. This is Jace Fewens, Emu Sim Racing, being chased down by John King. A couple of fantastic liveries and JWM eMotorsports competitor right on the back of Fewens now. Let's ride on board with him up the hill. So far, no pit stops, as you can see from that graphic. Dipatito, I think, has just been overtaken by Davis. Oh, they're wheel-to-wheel, these two. And off the racetrack, Dipatito held on. Davis tucks him behind. And, wow, that was a good little fight. Will Warren Davis be able to get this at the end of the straightaway? Here we go. He's right behind him. He goes to the right-hand side of the racetrack. And into the braking zone we go. They almost make contact again. Remember that Davis has already tasted the grass out there once today. There's a little bit of contact there, and Dipatito sideways regathers it up. Good racing, but gee whiz, this is tight and hard, fast racing between P4 and P5 as Peter Latham off the track. He's now chopping the grass, and Quaney goes through up into 18th place. It's all happening out there now. And we're on lap 17, so I'm seeing Peter Latham in the pits. So he's committed now to a 2-stopper with a lot of fuel saving, or else a 3-stopper out in front. Scott Gamble. It's well, it's looking a little bit lonely. It's got to be said. There's the track map. You can see quite a gap between 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. Quite evenly spaced. It's about 4 seconds between each of them. And there's a nice gap between, I think it's 10th and 11th, that Gamble might just fancy popping back into a few times his pit stop right here. But knowing these top competitors, usually they can run it as late as possible, and they want to get the maximum out of that first tank of fuel. And that means they can shorten up their second 2 stops, or their 2 stops, and take the least amount of fuel, which obviously makes a shorter pit time. get home quicker. So lap 18, let's ride on board here with Scott Gamble and just enjoy his pace out in front. Oh dear, he's off the track. Just as I've crossed over to him, he's in the wall too from the lead of the race. A little mistake there for the Evolution Racing team driver. And he's found the fence. Hunt's gone through. Now, how much damage has that got? I've just put the commentator's curse on him, even though we're not live here, we're on a replay. Still, it seemed to have happened. I said he was having a pretty lonely race out in front. Now he's back in third place with damage. Luckily for him, he's inside the pit window now. So if he can limp this back around to the pits, he can get it stopped, fix the car up, and then get back into the race. But it won't hurt him as much as it would have if it had happened a couple of laps earlier. But he's in the clutches here of Dibattito and also Davis, who have been super quick in this race. They will have seen Gamble go from a long way up on the relative in first place now to third. Travis Hunt has been gifted a 5-second lead. Great job for Travis. He's just been ticking away, lapping in the 1:43s. The big moment there in this race for Scott Gamble. Let's see if he comes into the pits at the end of this lap. You can see Dibattito not too far behind, half a second. He's closing up. He's probably going to feel this most on the straights, the big straights here, Gamble. With that damage, he may just lose a little bit of straight line speed. Other than that, it doesn't look like it did too much damage to either side as far as the steering and the wheels and the camber and all that sort of thing. It looks pretty square. Scott's saying that woke him up. I bet it did. And well, half an hour into the race, he can start to just get into a lull, and he continues on. So he wants to get that 22 laps out of it by the looks of things. Davis just in behind, still looking at the back of Dibattito. Everything's spread out down the field, which interesting. Don't forget, if some drivers, of course, are watching tonight, when we do get a safety car, if we do, and I've been told there is at least one tonight, make sure you come in for a quick chat. Talk to a few drivers and just suss out how they're feeling at this stage in the race as Davis continues to battle here with Tito. I'm loving, I almost feel like this is a new Warren Davis tonight. I know he's quick and he's constantly up there, but tonight he's got this aggressive feel about it, and he's going for another overtake. Just puts the nose down the inside, gets alongside Dibattito, and he gets on the throttle and bags up those rear tyres. As soon as you do that, you see how quickly they just fall back, and now he's got to start all over again, and those tyres will take maybe half a lap to just re-engage completely. We've got Tim Betts in the pit lane now for his stop on lap 19. Roy Clark as well, still battling here with Mark Peck. There's Mark. Pecky Performance Racing. Car looks good, not a mark on that one, so he's probably thinking, right, I'll take Hoff's sponsorship money and we'll give it across to, oh, where's Troy going? Troy with the big old slide there. He's taken his own Quantum Tint Solutions banner off the left-hand side of the car and rejoins down outside the top 12, 13th now as he drops down the order. Still struggling just to get that back onto the green stuff. Sorry, onto the black stuff, off the green. But he comes back on in 13th place ahead of Healy and Viger. Peck getting alongside Clark, or Clark getting alongside Peck. He'll try and go around the outside, Roy Clark, and he does. Good overtake. As Todd Duggan now off. Now we're getting, what is it, 33 minutes. We're seeing a lot of cars off the track. Is this the tyres going off? 20 laps into the race. The setup maybe a little bit aggressive on the tyres tonight to get that front end to turn. And the back end also just struggling with the amount of ask that has been given around this racetrack. They're asking a lot of it out of the corners, and it's finally saying no more. Travis Hunt out in front. Scorpion eSports will be loving this. Lest we forget on the back of that car as well, great Anzac livery for tonight's race. Dennis Parker up into the second position now, and 3 seconds ahead of Scott Gamble, who led the majority of the first part of the race before putting it in the fence all by himself. He lost the front bonnet. You'll be able to tick what's called a fast repair. That'll bring those parts back on the car and completely fix it. I don't think it completely fixes it, to be honest with you. What do you guys think? I always reckon there's a little bit of straight line speed that's never given back to you once you damage your car. In my experience anyway. I think cosmetically it'll fix the car. It'll give you back an engine if you've blown it up. But it never gives you 100% power and all that sort of thing. I always feel like you're maybe a couple of percent down. So the Hoff fighting here with Richard Barella. And what I'm going to quickly do, while we've got a sec here, what are we, lap 20? I'm just going to read out the citation for the Victoria Cross here for Albert Barella. Now, I'm not the best reader, so bear with me while I do this. I've got it, I can stick it up on the screen here, so there you go. So for the most conspicuous bravery in attack whilst leading his platoon with the first wave, Lieutenant Barella marked an enemy machine gun firing through our barrage. He ran out ahead of his men into the barrage, shot 2 German machine gunners with his revolver and captured the gun. He then led his party, now reduced to 10 men and 2 Lewis guns, against a very strong held trench, using his revolver and later a rifle with great effect, causing many enemy casualties. His leading and splendid example resulted in the garrison being quickly shot or captured. 2 large dugouts were also bombed and 30 prisoners taken. Subsequently, the enemy twice counterattacked in strong force, on the second occasion outnumbering Lieutenant Barella's platoon by 10 to 1. This cool determination inspired his men to resist heroically, and the enemy were repulsed with heavy losses. So incredible just to read that. And we had the photo up at the start, but that is Richard's granddad who served in the war. So I just found that great to read that just prior to going live tonight. It really put me in the spirit, because I know we've seen the Anzac liveries on the cars, but to read firsthand that account of how incredibly brave these guys are, and these women, of course, as we see now the race leader in the pits. But yeah, thank you for sending that through, Richard. I think that's been special for tonight's Split 2 broadcast, and your family should be very, very proud. As we see the top 4 in the pits, we'll see if Fuens comes in as well. I reckon Fuens will go an extra lap. He's going to do what Jason does here, I reckon. I'm going to pick it, see if he continues on and takes the lead here. We should get 22 laps. Someone has gone over the line. That's in the pit lane, Gamble, in fact. And Fuens goes in, so he proves me wrong. What about John King? Someone's staying out. Is it... it's not Clark or Peck. In fact, it's a lap car that's staying out there. So no, they're all going to come in here lap 21 before we start lap 22. Roy Clark did stay out, didn't he? So there you go. Someone decided to stay out for me. Simon Peter van der Kranz also stayed out. Those drivers are going to get an extra lap out of their tank of fuel, lap 22. As the drivers now use their pit strategy machines, their iPads, their calculators, their Z1 or whatever they are, dashboards, to work out exactly how much fuel is needed. It's definitely something that has to be done. So watching Rick Viger here, lap 5. Jokin's in the house. Hello, Jokin. G'day, Luke. G'day, chat. Go Wayne Lecomte. Nice to have you here, Jokin. Fuens was driving with level 3 COVID, says Shervo Jones. That's not good. I shouldn't laugh at that, because I know exactly what it's like, but level 3 COVID. What's level 1 COVID? Did I have level 1, 2 or 3? I got no idea. But Fuens doing well, isn't he? He's just come out of the pits now. Back in 17th place, but still up 2 positions with about 10 cars in front that need to stop as well. So Rick Viger just chasing down Troy Sipple. There's Sipple running in 4th place now. Obviously yet to stop, the top 5 in the race, yet to stop. Love the livery. That Troy has done on that car. Looks fantastic. Righto. Let's have a quick look here. So Viger, he'll have to go in the pits as well. So, oh boy, he's got to be so careful there. Sipple, he almost made contact. Clark, your race leaders in the pits. Van der Kranz stays out, I think. And here we go, into the lane. Rick Viger. Oh, dearie me. Rick Viger's going into the pits backwards, folks. Is he going to select reverse and drive into his pit box? I think he is. Oh my gosh, we haven't seen anything like this ever. Rick Viger is providing the action on the pit entry tonight. He's reversed that in with a half bike as well. Nice job, Rick. It's all okay though. He'll get the back end replaced on that car and everything's good. But Rick Weiger, thanks for the heads up there, Ben Anthony, and Rick as well, who gave me a little heads up on that. Nice job. Peter van der Kraan leads. Joking says, just grab reverse and send it. Well, he thought about it and then he did it. Well done. So Pete in the lead now of the race. And he is yet to stop. So the only driver to stretch this out to 23 laps. What sort of fuel tank's in this car? The Racecraft Angry Birds entry. So he's done well, hasn't he? Travis Hunt, P2. 12 seconds behind. Remember, he has now stopped. So the pit strategy sees Hunt in the lead, Parker second, Gamble third. And Parker did stop one lap earlier than the other two. Warren Davis says, that's how you do it. Ha. Very good. So Gamble, remember, made that little mistake. He went into the fence. Now the car's been repaired in the pit lane, which also means this man, the Hoff, has got brand new parts, gaffer tape back onto his car as well. How good's the TAFE pit crew that jump out there and panel beat everything back on in a second? Only if you can have that in the real world. How cool would that be? Lap 23 of 62 now. Van der Kraan's in the lead. And Travis Hunt will cross the line to start lap 24 and take over the lead of this race. So nice driving here for the Scorpion eSports driver. So not a lot of battles going on at this stage of the race, which is interesting. Seen, well, last night there was always at least a couple of squabbles going on, but the drivers have spread out to quite a huge margin at the moment. And we're just seeing Dave Worrell. He's coming out of the pits now. Oh, gee whiz, I thought he was over the white line for a second. You have got to be careful to stay within that white line on the pit exit. Otherwise you can get a penalty. He locks the brakes too. It's cold tyres on the car. He needs to just get them up to temp. We saw McKnight last night blow an engine start of the race. So far so good as far as reliability for these cars. 25 now running around TCB Racing. Oh, up on two. Oh, now he's gone out of shape. Dave Worrell's backwards on the track as well and backs it into the fence. And that's a lot of damage there for Dave Worrell. And we may... Can he get that going? He can. He spins out onto the racetrack now, but then drives to the edge. Now, how much damage has he got to get this back around to his pit bay? Now, just remember, he just came out. This is actually an out lap for Dave Worrell, so he's got to try and sneak all the way back around to the start-finish to get that car repaired. And he looks to be just struggling with the car is moving around, and I'm not sure if he's got an issue, something broken in the suspension. He's on and off throttle there as well. Just keep an eye on him down the hill. It sounds like a lost gear then. It has, and then he's just grabbed a gear. Oh, big crash into the fence. Dave Worrell. It actually threw it into neutral halfway down the hill, and then he grabbed a gear which locked the backup compression lock up, and now we've got him stranded. Someone else going off there with him, Dave Bordock, I think. Just he's having a sympathy spin. You can see how many marks are down there in the gravel trap. There's been a lot of action down there, and big moment in this race. Dave Worrell's got it running again, but I don't know if he may have some sort of tech issue. Now Dave Bordock decides to jump across the curb, and is that noise coming from Worrell's car? Just trying to have a listen. It's not changing gears or something, so he's definitely got some sort of tech issue here, or something. Maybe he can tell us what is wrong with the car. It's not turning. Oil on the track, says Servo Jones. He's almost back to the lane now, but see if he can get in. Oh, he's carried on. So with that amount of damage, he's carried on here, Dave Worrell. I just hope that doesn't happen again. It almost looked like a stuck throttle or an issue changing down. This time it's going down the gears okay, isn't it? It's like he snatches a gear on him. Lap 25 though, and the 25 in trouble. Sideways again. Look at the way the car's sliding. So Dave, I'm not sure, is he the damage or he's just had a couple too many wines before the race tonight? I don't know. Oh dearie me, he's off again. He's off again in a big way into the same fence. There's a magnet down there. And Dave Worrell, I reckon that time might be terminal. Is that going to run for him? It's pretty much stationary. You see him turning the wheel in the car. Oh no, he's got it going again. And now he's heading back off the track. So cue the Benny Hill music. Dave, I don't mean to pick on you here, but what's going on? So Hunt out in front leads the race. And I wonder if this continues on, we may get a safety car deployed here, which would really close the pack up. At the moment, it's quite spread out. So leading the race, of course, Travis Hunt. And he's in control. Dave Worrell now just calling to race control. So he's become stationary. So he's in trouble here. This will be a safety car. So safety car boards and flags, I think, will be the reaction here from race control. Let's see if the Porsche safety car is on its way out, and it is. So, right, just when you needed some action, everything's going to get compressed up now here on lap 26 of this race, because the Bay 21 Porsche safety car is on its way out of the lane, and here we go. It'll pick up the race leader shortly. Just trying to work out, there is our safety car driver. He's got to pick up Travis Hunt, who's just coming down through the final couple of corners now. So we're going to go full course caution here, which is a good chance to talk to some drivers if they can head over now to the green room, and we can see who we got. Have a chat, but Hunt leads the race. That 6.4 second advantage is going to disappear. You can hear Travis Hunt's got the clutch in, trying to save as much fuel as possible now, and straight away Matt Parker jumps into the pits. What will be a 3-stop strategy. So he's decided to jump in now and takes fuel. The only advantage of that is filling it right up and then having a really short final stop, but he will lose a fair bit of track position. I'm not sure in this context it's the right way to go. See if anyone else reacts as well, but Hunt picks up the safety car, and on lap 27 of 62, this 300-kilometre race, we have our first full course yellow. We saw a couple last night in the main feature. Christian Smart's in the house. He says, see you in split 1 next season, Scott. I think we all expect to probably see a couple of these drivers at the front. There goes Dave Worrell. You can see him just off the racetrack there, beside the barrier, looking a bit worse for wear, but I think we can probably expect to see maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5 or 6 or 7. You never know, of these cars in split 2 elevated next season up into split 1. Looking at the list of names, I had another squiz today. If you're in the broadcast, sorry, if you're in the Discord for V8 veterans, you head across to season 12 drivers, and the list is massive. I don't think I'm allowed to show it, so I won't show it on the broadcast. But I'm just trying to count how many. I'm going to quickly try and just work this out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24. I reckon there's about 100 drivers at least already registered. Maybe Ben Anthony, if he's listening. He's meant to have the night off tonight, Ben, but he is hanging around. I can sense that he's still watching or listening. But he is meant to be having the night off. But I reckon there's already over 100 drivers signed up and ready to go next season, which is incredible. So how it all falls into place with where they fall into their splits will be interesting to see. Who's coming for a chat? Everyone's gone shy tonight, so I'm just hanging out here in the broadcast booth. No one's landed in the green room yet, so see how we go. I'd like to get some insight on some of these split 2 drivers and how it felt 48 minutes into the race. Last night just went shy of 2 hours, so it is a long one at a hard racetrack to concentrate. So it's always good to get that insight from the drivers, and it was great to see the onboards again last night. Scott McCune, of course, Jeff Thomas giving us access, and Mick Dumbrell, the onboard cameras just showing how hard they were having to work throughout that 2-hour race last night. This is no different tonight, although this being the replay file, the drivers can sit back and have a beer. All the hard work has been done. I'm the one that works hard tonight. Friday night action here, V8 Vets, live on RACESTARS TV. full course caution here. Let's have a look at next season's calendar. Just have a quick squiz. Season 12 coming up June 16th, and Belle Isle. Can't wait to get back there. That'll be mega. Belle Isle, then Le Mans. We head on to Oran Park. It's been a while, I think, since these guys have attacked Oran Park in the V8 Supercar as well. It is a tight little undulating racetrack to put these 650 horsepower beasts around, but they're going to do it June 30th. Then we go to Laguna Seca, another tricky track. Sonoma, there's 3 in a row. Very tricky undulating racetracks in a row before we go back to the flat Hall of Speed Monza for the GP circuit. That'll be great, 44 laps around there, July 21st. Then off to Sebring, one of the, I reckon, most boring tracks in iRacing, but let me know what you think about it. It seems to be a favourite for V8 drivers. For me, I don't like it. What do you think? 51 laps around Sebring. Then Phillip Island, Suzuka, the Nordschleife. Ben Anthony is going to chuck them for 10 laps around the Nordschleife. That will be a night not to miss. I'm not even sure my broadcast gear can handle loading the whole Nordschleife and doing 10 laps. It's going to be red hot that night. Then Imola, back here, August 25th, Auburn Park, September 1st. Can you believe after the end of next season, we're already into September. So there's next calendar, which is already well and set. We may even have another Aussie track appearing on the iRacing service by then, which would be great. And hopefully we're getting back underway at the end of this lap. I'm going to take a quick drink as no one came in for a chat. I'll be back with you shortly. So the Porsche safety car is just checked out off into the distance. We're now in control here from Travis Hunt, and as soon as race control will say that the safety car is back in the lane safely, we can get back underway. The 001 tonight, Bay 21 Porsche safety car out there, driven by the admin team. I love that this series doesn't use an automated car for their safety car. It's a real driver in that car and doing a great job tonight. Here we go. Travis Hunt, look at Scott Campbell already, ready for the restart. He wants this to get underway quickly. He wants to get involved. We go back to Green Racing. Good jump by Hunt in the end. He played the game and did it well. Warren Davis stayed within about half a second of the back of Gamble. Dibattito a little bit slower, running down the pit straight. Now you can see past our box. There goes the top 3. Jason Dibattito a fair way back. Weston King, Hewins, Rice and Clark following with Matty Parker rounding out your top 10. But Travis Hunt, the perfect getaway. Gamble in chase. On board with Scotty now. And the gap currently at 0.3 of a second on this restart lap. Lap 29, we're only a couple of laps off the halfway point. So it is a big race when you think of it that way. We're 53 minutes in, not even at the halfway point. Who's going to be there at the end? We've still got one pit stop to go. We're expecting probably around lap 43 for the second stop. Maybe lap 44 now that they've been able to save some fuel under safety car conditions. Gamble's showing the nose, so he's looking like he's ready to have a go here. He may not wait. So just watch Scotty, So, then Davis, Dibattito further back, then Weston and King. Jason Fewins inside the top 10, up 12 spots into 7th with Aiden Rice and Roy Clark, up 19 spots under pressure from Matt Parker. Parker dives to the right now, looks to the inside, goes back in behind. Clark holds on to 9th place. But Parker definitely looking menacing as he gets right underneath the rear wing of that Ford Mustang. This is the battle for 8th, 9th and 10th. Parker, he looks quick, doesn't he, as they run down towards the second to last corner now. The right-hander, you sweep through the right, then into the left. Double left-hander coming up to bring you back onto the pit straight. Parker was a little bit slow through there. Clark looking good. Hayden Rice getting a chance here just to move away a little bit in front of these competitors. Here goes the top two, and it's close. Look at this, Hunt and Gamble. Gamble goes to the outside. He's going to try and go the long way around. It's a tough move to pull off, and up on the curb there, Gamble goes for the move. So Hunt got right up on the curb, up on two wheels, almost like he's in the precision driving team there for a second. and now Gamble is so close. He's still on the outside, challenging here. Oh, he's got loose again through there, Travis Hunt. Gamble checks out. He doesn't want to get involved through the second chicane, and that gives Warren Davis a chance now to get right up onto the tail of Scott Gamble. Wow, good racing. Short shift there for Davis so he can dull the wheel spin up the hill. And he's going to have a shot himself. Gamble did a new fastest lap, by the way, on that restart lap. And that's decent. He's really fired this out of the blocks. The tyres working well. The car in check. Loving the setup, obviously. And now it's on between the top three. They're starting to drop Jason DiBattista just slightly as well. Watch the run up the hill now. You can see which cars are squirreling, which cars are able to just tiptoe on the throttle out of there. There is Travis Hunt still leading out in front. But the top three in a monumental fight now. DiBattista has actually closed up a little bit more on this lap. He brings Weston King and Fewens with him. So this is more like at lap 30. This is what we want to see. A battle between the top 10 and not a snooze fest. I love it. I love it when there's close racing. Simon Pitt as well with Sipple in the background. Not too much between these drivers. Craig Healy's in check. Then Van der Krant dropping back a bit. Viger and Hoffman. Hoffman will be loving having all the parts back on this car. And then it's Todd Duggan, 18th, Quaney, 57 in 19th, and Scala rounds out your top 10. Will Gamble have a shot this time at the end of the straightaway? Let's jump on board. Have a look. He's closer. He's getting closer again. Thinks about it. Stays back. So he may just spend this next lap just getting the tyres back into the working window. I reckon he used a lot of them on, first of all, that fastest lap, but then that attacking lap that preceded. Scotty Gamble's looking good, isn't it? There's the onboard with him now. Third gear through the second chicane. Just a little taste of fourth gear, then back to third, back to second. Listen for the short shift up to third as they exit. He actually uses all the revs, different to what Warren Davis did. It sounded like Davis grabbed third much earlier on the previous lap. Up to the crest of the hill now, 0.2 of a second. And they've dropped Davis back by a second now. These top two, they are flying. Down the hill through one of the trickiest corners in world motorsport. Look at Gamble right onto the tail again. He's engaging here with Hunt. And how much of this pressure can Travis Hunt withstand? This is great. Here goes Gamble down the inside, all locked up. He got it stopped. I thought he was going to tag him for a second. But okay, got away with it. Fantastic battle. The Scorpion eSports versus the Evolution Racing team car. They've swapped positions at the start of the race. Gamble on pole, lost that out early after putting it in the fence. Travis Hunt inherited the lead of the race. He hasn't let it go yet, but there's still a long way to go. We're at the halfway point now. Rear tyres screaming for help there for Travis Hunt as he feeds 650 horsepower with his right boot. And now down the pit straight. That's given Gamble another look. The slipstream is strong. Here he goes. Will he go for the overtake? He goes across to the right-hand side again. The doors slam shut. There's almost contact. Gamble stays on the outside through the chicane once again. Hunt's up onto the ripple strip. As Scotty Gamble gets through, and he's now up into the lead of this race. Davis having a big look to now at Travis Hunt. It's a great scrap here for P2. And will that release Scott Gamble now to try and get himself back in that early rhythm that he had at the start of the night, where he just disappeared off into the distance? And big lock up Travis Hunt almost into the back there of Gamble once again. Here is that short shift. You can hear it. Warren Davis, he knows what to do out of the bottom of the hairpin up the hill. Obviously that third gear change working well for him tonight and keeping him ahead of DiBattista, Weston and King. With Jace Fewens now engaging on the back of this one with John King. Let's jump on board with Fewens. We know Jace loves the battle. Here he goes. Jokin says great racing. You got to give him props. This is split 2. And no offense to the split 2 drivers, but you've got a whole split of drivers that are meant to be a step above, but I reckon you could put all these guys tonight in with the split 1s, have one mega race, and it would be even Stevens. They're all showing a similar class, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with being in split 2. There's nothing wrong with being in split 3. This season has such a high level of talent right across the board. 100 drivers, all over the age of 40. They pack the wheelchairs and the mobility walkers away for one night a week to get out into the sim, and they fly, these guys. Tito now gets closer to Warren Davis. Davis goes defensive into the braking zone for the Tamburello chicane, up onto the curb. You've got to be careful you don't get sideways into the car there. This is good. And Dibatito's going to hang on the outside, try and get good drive off the corner. Look out for Weston as well. Weston makes it 3 wide down towards the second chicane. He then backs out of it, probably a wise decision. And Dibatito moves up into P3. Davis back to 4th. And Weston also looking like he's ready to pounce. Up the hill we go. Watch for Davis getting good drive out of the corner. Fewens in the background, starting to lurch left and right as well. He wants a piece of the action. Jason Dibatito, will he stand on the podium tonight? So far, so good. He's up there for 3rd position, but it's a long way to go. Lap 33, Duggan's on the radio to race control as Fewens right on the tail of John King. Here we go. Keep it together, Jace. We know he streams. He does a great job. Go check him out on Twitch. And here he is tonight, chasing down a top 6 position. If you can get past John King, who's just in front and absolutely pushing the envelope. Warren Davis had a slowdown. That's the reason why he had to slow up before. But he's now re-engaged with Dibatito. He wants that place back. He wants a podium tonight for PRA. And Split 2 podium for PRA, that will be incredibly satisfying for this man tonight. Fewens getting a great drive here from John King. Surely Fewens is going to have a go at the end of the straight. He is so close to the back of the John King car, the JWMP Motorsports entrant in the Holden Commodore. But the straight line speed, I reckon, from John King is very, very good. Fewens can't match him, can't get alongside. Now King puts it up onto the ripple strip, loses some momentum. Luckily, it's really a one-lane road through there. You can't go around left or right. Now Fewens looks to the inside. Gee whiz, he's late on the brakes, Fewens. I thought for a second he was going to be straight into the back of King. And then at the last moment, he somehow pulls it up. And look in the background, it's Parker. He's now re-engaged. It's about a 2.8 second back to Rice and Clark, Heck and Pitt and Sippel on the back of that little train as well. So since the safety car, we've got all these little micro battles forming, these little 5-6 car trains, and it's incredible to watch the gap at the front. 7/10 of a second. Scott Campbell still leading that one. The Hoffs on the back of this battle pack. So between Peck, Pitt, Sippel, Healy, Viger and the Hoff, you've got 1.4 seconds. Nice close battle here for 12th place. Let's have a quick look at the pit stop strategy for tonight. There it is up on the screen. You can see Parker in 8th place has already had 2 stops. So he's shortened that right up with the safety car. And he stopped on lap 20. Then obviously the safety car, lap 26, meant he came in again to give it a splash of fuel. He'll still need to stop again, but it will be a shorter final stop. Weston came in on lap 17, and that's the line ball for being a 2-stop strategy. The safety car might save his bacon, meaning that he can go just 1 more stop. He will have to pit earlier though than the rest of them. Lap 13 had 22s, lap 35, so we're right on the time that most of these drivers, sorry, I got that wrong, didn't I? So lap 21 plus 22 will be around lap 43, so we're about 7 or 8 laps off now where we'll see the top 4 come into the pits. But for Scott Weston, we're thinking probably lap 39 for his second pit stop. So you'll see that all unfold shortly. Jason Dibatito now has quite a train behind him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars lining up for a piece of this action. Wide there for Dibatito. Warren Davis, his eyes would have lit up when he saw that. He has a look, but not close enough. That's psychological a lot of the time when they just jump out of the slipstream. And maybe that worked because as soon as he did that, there was a mistake. And Dibatito got out of shape, lost it over the side of the curb, almost like Charles Leclerc there, and he's dropped back now to 5th behind Weston as well. So quite often you see the drivers just dancing out, putting themselves in the mirrors of the cars in front, and you think, oh, what are they doing that for? It's slower, it slows you down. No, and work strategically as Travis Hunt comes into the pits from P2 for his second stop. Now, once again, I'm not sure, is Travis Hunt in the chat tonight? That's way too early, surely, to come into the pits for your second pit stop. Now, he's obviously, as you can see the strategy there, he's gone, as he just drops down the order, I'll try and pick up where he is. So Hunt was lap 21 for his first stop, and he's jumped in the pits now with maybe some sort of issue, because that will put him right out of contention. No, he stayed out, did he? So maybe he had an off track there or something. Did he have a drive-through penalty? I'm just having a quick look now through the notes that I was given. No, but he's dropped right back to 18th place now. Definitely went into the pit lane according to my telemetry here. And was it just a drive-through by the looks of things, because he didn't take fuel on board? Travis Hunt. Is Travis here to confirm that? We'll try and find out. What that's done is taken all the pressure off Scott Gamble. 7.3 seconds. Now out in front from Warren Davis and Scott West in your top three. Puts the PRA car of Warren Davis now. Second step of the podium. Pretty happy with that, considering he's on the two-stop strategy. Stopped on lap 21, so we'll see him in lap 43 or lap 42 for his second stop in about 6 laps time. Middle part of the race, a lot of fuel saving going on, says Hoff. And watching Simon Pitt and Troy Sippel fighting. Mark Peck's just in front of them as well. This is good. Good little battle. Hayden Rice, he's not holding them up, but they're really tight together, aren't they? Between Rice, Peck, Pitt and Sippel. What is it? It's only 1 second covering those 4 drivers. Just letting Roy Clark just get away a little bit too now. You can see the way Pitt is engaged on the back of Mark Peck. Troy Sippel's just behind him. Try and get some close-ups of these Anzac liveries too throughout the broadcast tonight, but let's try and have a look at this Quantum Tint Solution one first of all with Troy Sippel. Great to see the poppies on the car and all the little badges and detail that goes in for Anzac week, or weeks it's been, in fact 2 weeks in a row. It's great to have the liveries. There's the Type N eSports entrant of Craig Healy. Behind him, Rick Flyger. It's good to see Sippel here battling with Simon Pitt. Now this is interesting because Troy Sippel's just got through into 11th. Great little fight. Let's jump on board here with Simon, chasing him down onto the pit straightaway. Let's see if he can't challenge him again and try and get the position back. I like this when you get these niggling battles where the drivers trade positions, and he's out in the slipstream there now. What's the reason of that? He's weaving around. Is he trying to get the tyre temp? Is he trying to cool the engine? I would have thought you'd just jump in the tow and try and sit as close as you can to the car in front. Simon had other thoughts there. Up the road you can see Rice still trying to hold out the performance racing car of Mark Peck. In the background I can still see Simon Pitt weaving. I wonder if he feels he hasn't got enough tyre temp. Surely on lap 38 though, when they've, what's he done? He's 16 laps into his stint, so the tyre should definitely be up to temp. Maybe it's once again psychological, trying to get into the wing mirrors of Troy Sippel. What do you reckon, Troy? Was it working? There you go, trying to keep Troy guessing. There's the response from the driver himself, Simon Pitt. So it was all about the mind games, which we see a lot of in this category. Not seeing a lot of flashing headlights. That they were ruled that out or something. I know some series you see a lot of the drivers flashing away. Todd Duggan's around and just gets it off the track, which is good. I thought he was going to roll back onto the driving line there for a second, but luckily he's stationary. Is the motor still running? It is. So there's Todd, the Nova Motorsports entrant. Not sure he looks like his profile picture, but he will get going again. He's going to drop all the way back to 26th place, sadly, so that little spin quite costly. Lap 39. And Matty Parker here, running just behind Weston and Tipitito. It's the gap for these guys. It's still about 2 seconds up the road for Jason Tipitito, who's in 4th. You can still sense a podium tonight. Scott Weston just in front. He'd love that. He'd love to put another virtual trophy in the virtual trophy cabinet. Maybe that's the thing they should start doing, is they need to find a way. What are these new, they're not Bitcoins, but they're like artwork that you can get. They're not EFTs or something like that. NFTs, what are they? Someone might be able to tell me. Maybe they can start to, see you joking by the way, catch you later man. Maybe they can start to bring them in, but in trophy form, and you can actually win trophies in these races for your virtual trophy cabinet. That would be cool. Maybe I've just given away a good little business there, but someone out there can start the company. You buy these trophies at a wholesale, maybe at 50 cents each for a series, and you start giving them away, and they have to be one genuinely to go into your virtual trophy cabinet. It's a $1 million business there that I've just given to someone out there, an entrepreneur. When you make it all happen, make sure you give us a ring and chuck a 50 my way. But Travis Hunt working his way back. We didn't see what happened to Travis, but it's a long road back for him now. That extra pit stops cost him. I didn't read anything about a drive-through penalty, so I'm not sure why he had to go through the pits again. Just watching now. Clark goes through start lap 40. There's Matt Parker in all this. Parker's still 2 places up the road, and Jason Fuelin's in between them. So they've gapped out again. We had about 10 laps or so of quite close racing after that first safety car period. Now it's become, once again, a little bit spread out on the track. 9.2 seconds. Scotty Campbell will be liking this. Feeling pretty comfortable out in front. Tito, 4th place. Also 11 seconds off the lead. So Nova Motorsport entry here. Back into the car, just starting to complain slightly. What's happened to Craig Healy? He's off the track and rejoins safely, luckily. Parker heads up the hill. So his fight now is to try and catch Tipitito and then hope that one of the top 3 make a mistake in the last part of this race. Because at this stage, he's a fair way off getting a podium. Clark is in the background. We've got quite a smoke haze down there, and that was for Roy Clark. I think he may have just had an incident. Oh, we've got a car around there. Rick Weiger goes around. So he's spun the car as well. And now he rejoins, a pretty sketchy rejoin. He gets away with it. Matt Parker's off the track as well now. So Parker's off in the grass. Now how has this happened? He rejoins. This will be an interesting rejoin too. He gets back out okay. He's got Clark just behind him, on board with Clark now as they head down the pit straight. And this will give Clark a good chance to get past Matt Parker, who was slow off the exit, wasn't he? He's right beside him now. Here we go. Going for the overtake. Clark down the outside, Parker on the inside, in the braking zone. Big late braking. It's like Russell and Bottas all over again. They're both off into the fence. In fact, they avoid the barrier. But Clark will go back to 6th. He'll need to give up a few positions there. And Matt Parker as well rejoins. Now, did we have another spinner up ahead? We do. And he's trying to avoid this incident. Oh, huge crash. You could see that coming a mile away. And it's Matty Parker. And who's the other car involved? It's Travis Hunt. His night's gone from worse to worse here. So big incident. And how's Parker's car? It has not moved. So He's just through the trees there. We're not going to pick him up from this camera shot, I don't think. We're going to try though. It's very artistic, isn't it? So our chopper cam circling around to try and get a shot here of Parker, and there he is. So the Nova Motorsport car in trouble, and it looks like he might be out of this race because it doesn't look like it's going any further from there. And where's Clark? He did keep running, did he? Just trying to pick up Clark on the timing board. Yes, he has continued on, so sad incident there, but that sees Matty Parker in some trouble. The leaders are in the pits, so we'll have a quick look here. Do we have our Bay 21 Porsche safety car out on the track? We do. Full course caution, safety car boards and flags, and the safety car out on the track as Mark Peck dives into the lane. We should see all drivers in the pits now because we're within the window to bring it home. So Matty Parker and Clark, they've adjudicated no further action on that one. A racing incident into the braking zone down at the Tambrillo chicane. So into the pits, Mark Peck now. Tim Betts, is he going to come in? He will come in as well. It's pretty much every car in the lane. Let's see if Dave Baldock comes in as well. So Baldock in the pits. Here was the secondary part of that crash. So we saw both Parker and Clark off the track. There was a rejoin. That's when, I'm trying to see, there was contact between Pitty and Parker, or Travis Hunt, sorry, that went around. And then that way, he didn't know which way to go, Matty Parker. And in the end, he T-boned Travis, and that's what's put him out of the race, sadly, as Dave Baldock takes his tyres and fuel to the end of this race. So Gamble back into the lead behind the Porsche safety car. He's taken fuel now. All these drivers can go to the end of this race. So we are on for a sprint race now, 20 or so laps once we get going again. Let's see if we got anyone to come and have a chat this time. We got Mark Dial. Mark, it's nice to have you join me, mate. I thought everyone was going to diss me tonight and not come in for a chat, but you've joined me. So how are you, Mark?
Yeah, not bad, thanks, mate.
It's good to hear from you, mate. And how's everything going? You're sitting back enjoying this one on a Friday?
Yeah, sitting back having I was going to have a beer, but it's too cold for that. It's raining, so I'll have a coffee instead.
A coffee, mate? You can put some whiskey in your coffee. That always works.
Yeah. Yeah, a little dash of that work, I say.
Hey, good racing here in Split 2 once again tonight. I mean, it's closed up again now with the safety car, but good to see Scott Gamble right up there. It looks like he's race to lose now after what was a really good fight earlier on. He put himself in the barrier earlier in the race, but now he looks to be in a commanding position.
Yeah, he does. Considering he's running around with a G29 gear, he's doing really well. Yeah, but I always did expect him to do well when he came back, because he did race with Let's a few seasons ago.
Yep.
Or more than a few seasons ago now. Yeah, so... And he was already banging doors with Brenton O'Brien and Jamie McKnight and a couple of the other passenger drivers there, so I did expect him to climb up through the ranks pretty quickly.
That's it, mate. And Steve's joined us as well. Steve, how are you, buddy?
Good, thanks. How you doing?
Very good, mate. Now, what are you up to lately?
Mate. Just a little bit of drinking, watching the race, just things like that.
So we had Barney Rubble in the chat for a second there.
Well, I could try, but no, I wouldn't do that.
And yeah, we've got the Split 3 race coming up after this as well, Mark and Steve. You're going to hang around and watch that with over on Johnny Van Ree's channel. There's a lot of racing now with the vets, isn't it, over the course of a couple of days?
Yeah, it is, and yeah, I'll be hanging out with the guys to have a chat with them and through the race for that, and it's good fun to do that on a Friday night too.
That's it. And Steve, how's your racing going, man? Are you enjoying it? You were there last night, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I'm not enjoying it as much as I would be. You know, I'm a little bit lower down than I like to be. But no, it's all right. I only got back on midnight Monday night from Queensland. So, oh shit, my garage is flooded.
Oh.
So yeah.
And
no, I haven't had as much practice as I want to, but anyway, it's all good. It's all fun.
Is that what you pay the the lower placings just down to practice? Is that what it is, or keeping in the groove sort of thing?
Yeah, not putting enough hours in, or not enough days in, really. Just getting used to the bias that I like, and mind you, Imola is not one of my favourite tracks at all, so I'm reasonably happy with starting 4th and finishing 8th, so it wasn't too bad overall.
It's a tough track. Is there anyone out there, do you reckon, that can just rock up week in, week out without practicing and still get in the top 5?
Yep. John Van Rey. Oh, sorry, John Latham. Sorry,
Yep.
John Van Rey probably could too, but John Latham, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, right. Yep. Because I always wonder that. I always wonder how much the top drivers have to put in, how much consistency and practice to be that good.
Yeah, look, I reckon John Latham, 2-3 laps, he just punch out a fast one, be within the top 5 pretty easy, and take away the win, if not on the podium.
Yeah, incredible. And Mark, this season, obviously season 11, I was looking at the list of names for season 12 earlier, and it's massive. There must be over 100 names already on that list.
Yeah, I think there is. I was just having a look at while you were talking about that. So yeah, it's quite big, and it's going to be exciting to see some new drivers come in. You know, help them out, and if they need help, I'm hoping some do need help, and yeah.
And obviously it's a bit of a monster that's been created with the V8 vets, with 3 splits, 6 officials live every night, plus myself doing the broadcast. It's big, isn't it? And then you got Johnny Van Rey that jumps in and does the Wodonga Karts and Parts TV broadcast as well. So it's just growing and growing. I think I joined season 7 from memory, and man, it's just insane. I look at that list of names, and you know, there's probably 70% that have been from season 7, but there's a lot of new names coming through as well.
Yeah, it's, to be honest, when I started this, 11 seasons ago, I didn't think it'd grow this big. I thought it should just be like a, you know, bunch of group of guys, 20 or so each week, and it did start out like that, and it was about, I think it was 10 of us in the first race, and then it just slowly climbed from there, and when you started to broadcast, and it just took off.
We're about to get back underway, so I'll have to let you guys go probably, but last couple of words, Stephen. Man, looking forward to seeing you back on a podium soon.
Thank you, you and me both. So fingers crossed, space or
and I hear your mate.
good.
I hear your mate, the People's Champion, will be having a week off next week.
He will. I didn't actually hear what was said over the comms. I didn't think there was anything said, but look, these things happen. Unfortunately, he's apologised, and yeah, that's about it. That's all we can do from there. And yeah, he's owned up to it, and these things happen. We occasionally get home over the collar and get over it within a couple of hours. So.
Well, I actually love, and I don't want to talk too much about this because it's sort of talking out of school, but I love that there is that passion in this racing. We've heard probably, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 meltdowns over the radio, or outbursts over this, you know, whatever it's 5 seasons I've covered here. But I love that. I think it's, you know, it shows that it's not just a computer game. This is competing at a high level. So yeah, it's part of it. You got to wear it. You got to wear it on the chin and take the penalty if you do something silly or do something wrong. But Jamie will bounce back. He's had a tough season being away, and he's on the back foot, but he'll bounce back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're all passionate about it, but I mean, that's why we like being racing in the 40s and over league, because we're not like we're 25 and don't give each other enough racing. We show a lot more respect, I believe, than some of the younger fellas these days do. But yeah, no, it's a very good league, and yeah, let's hope for good things to come.
That's it. Look forward to seeing you on a podium. And Mark, before we let you go, mate, any last words on tonight's race? Obviously not giving away any secrets to who wins it.
I've got no idea who wins this one. Yeah, I didn't hear any results, or didn't even catch up with any of the drivers out of there last night. So yeah, I'm blind too. So
no, I've got a rough guess, but you know, a guess. But, you know,
Chevo Jones just said Mark Duggan's blow up is on the Mount Rushmore of blow ups.
If you were broadcasting about a couple of seasons ago when me and Mario Rio had an incident at Sebring, yeah, you would have had the beep button on for quite a while then, but thankfully you weren't.
That's awesome. All right, love the passion. Thanks, boys, for jumping in for a chat. We'll go back and call the end of this race.
No worries. Good night.
Cheers, boys. Mark Dole there and Stephen Varga coming in for a chat. So we're back green flag racing with Scotty Gamble. He goes, right, I'm going to lead this one, and I'm also going to do a new fastest lap of the race, a 43.0, to head through there in the lead now by 1.3 seconds. So stamping his authority back on this race at lap 45. Back in the pack, Fewen, Sipple. This battle's raging. Mark Peck's there as well. They're side by side up to the crest of the hill. into the second to last corner, and Jace Fewens tucks back in behind Troy Sipple. Troy's up into 7th now. He'll be enjoying this. Great battle. He's got Paul Hayes in front, who's bounced back well in this race, considering where he fell back to at the start of the race. So Hazy runs up the road now ahead of them. He's chasing after Scotty Weston, who's in 5th place. And John King, to me, is still a massive standout tonight. There's King for JWM Motorsports. Now he's up 12 positions in 4th place. Apart from himself and Roy Clark, who's up 18, that's a mega drive. And Richard Barella's got to be said as well. Richard back here in 18th. He's made up 15 spots, so fantastic job. Good gains out on the racetrack from these competitors tonight. A fantastic livery to boot. Jay Scala battling here with Aidan Rice down the pit straight. Rice dives to the left now, trying to find a way through, dives back to the right. And neck and neck down towards the Tamburello chicane. It's going to go. Let's jump onto the hamburger can with Rice as he has a look to go down the outside. They make contact. We've seen this already a couple of times tonight, and he loses out big time. In fact, Quain almost gets past him. Now Rick Feiger comes in to the battle as well. And how many times tonight have we seen that wheel-to-wheel contact when they get down to the end of that straightaway? Well, there's a blow up brewing in the chat. Righto, let's chill out. Otherwise, I'll have to put some people on some 15-minute timeouts. Oh, I love it. I just saw the popcorn emoticon and I thought, oh, something's going on. I'll have to go over there and read what's going on for a second there. Ian Mays says sound question mark 4 minutes ago. Well, has anyone else lost the sound? I reckon you might have to click on the sound button on your iPhone there, Ian, otherwise we're all in big trouble. So yeah, we got good sound there, guys, let us know. Hopefully it's all okay. As we continue to watch Fewens and Sips just behind him. So if you're on your device there, Ian, just click on the screen and it should have a sound on off. If you're on your phone, you might just have to click that little button on the side to bring the sound back on. As far as I can tell, we are loud, live and clear here on RACESTARS TV. Quainey 57 all over the back of Aidan Rice. Here he goes. And he's right in behind the Blacktown Mazda Taipan eSports entry now. He's going to go for an overtake and he gets alongside. That's better down the inside run to the Tamburello chicane. And job done, thank you very much. He says up into 13th place as Roy Clark goes for another excursion. He bypasses the chicane as well, but maintains 9th position, up 19 spots for Clark each tonight. PRA competitor, fantastic drive for the number 21 tonight. Gamble leads, still out in front. The gap is 1.3 seconds and maintaining the last lap for him, a 44.1. And it was a 44.1 for Warren Davis too, who's moment, 15 laps off a P2 in the split 2 event. That would be fantastic. Shervo Jones says Vargas' blow with Mario was epic. Well, has anyone got some footage or audio of this? I would like to hear it. Someone out there must have it. Back to this battle between Pecky and Pitt for 10th place. And on board now with Mark Peck. You can see Scala as well in the background. He started 12th tonight, he runs 12th. And it's been a little bit of an up and down race for him. He's also holding out Michael Quain, Quainey 57, then Rice and Viger. Van der Kraan then ahead of Healy, Barella, Hunt and Todd Martin. Rounds out your top 20. There's Todd, and behind him the man who supplies the replay, David Baldock. Thanks to David and the Cathy's Pet Portraits. PRA Ford Mustang. So apparently Ben has got a copy, does he, of the blow up, the audio. If someone can slip me a copy of that, I might edit a few beeps into it. We'll get it played. I'd like to hear it, although some people might not want to share. As Rice now and Van der Kraan engage in another little battle. and Sips up the road still. Troy Sippelman, Fewens and Clark, Peck, Pitt, Scala, they're all within half a second of each other. That's incredible. Oh, we got a spinner. It's Travis Hunt again. Boy, he's been in the wars since leading this race. We've got 4 or 5 cars off the track there. Betts has gone around. We've got Craig Healy doing a little flick spin to get back out into the race. The Type N eSports car was caught up in that one too. With an awkward little spin. And Travis Hunt, boy oh boy. Can you believe this guy led a heap of laps at the start of this race, now finds himself back in P20. And just trying to chase up some minor points. Sometimes when it goes bad, it just continues to go south. And Dave Bordock engaging here with the Hoff for 18th place. Dave Bordock up another spot now into 18th, up 7. Great drive. Happy with that. Surely he hasn't really been on the chat tonight, so I'm not sure what Dave's doing, but hope he's going well. So Rice, Hunt and Parker all in the pits. That's sad for them. That's an unscheduled stop, I would say. Lap 49. Let's have a look at the strategy on the board. And all the 2 stoppers are now done. Hazy tonight in P6. Now, if that graphic's right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 stops he's made tonight. The old 4-stop strategy for Paul Hayes, and somehow he's running in the top 6. So that somehow worked out for him. Obviously, there was a couple of safety cars which he's jumped into the lane, but he's made a 4-stopper work and he can run to the end now. So just watching Clark and Peck and Pitt, Scala and Quain. Look at the way Roy Clark wobbled off that bottom of the corner. So you're an hour and 31 minutes into the race, nearly an hour and 32. You're looking at your timing, you're thinking, right, I've got 13 and a half laps to go here. I can't lose concentration. These are good points on offer, and I'll be able to bring you the series points at the end of the race tonight. Make sure someone reminds me. But I can tell you, after last night, the split 1 drivers, Nitsky, I think, leading the points still. I'm not sure if that has been updated. No, it hasn't. But I will be able to tell you at the end of this broadcast exactly where each driver is in this championship for Split 2. Remember that Split 2, complete separate championship this time out from Split 1, which I love. It's fantastic. We'll be able to award some winners and prizes for drivers in Split 2. And I can say Paul Hayes, he's been doing well, and to recover into 6th place on a 4-stop strategy, I reckon he'll probably thank his lucky stars on that one. That's worked out well. Lap 50 of 62 now, and there's a drive-through penalty for Travis Hunt for not holding the brake and causing an incident with Craig Healy. So that was the one we saw before, and so Travis Hunt, well, he'll end up, where will he end up? Right at the bottom tonight, 24th place, as Dave Bordock goes around. Sadly for Dave, the PRA driver is in 21st. He was up inside the top 20, and he's just thrown away a couple of positions there with that little error late in the evening's racing. Todd Martin and Tim Betts fighting over 18th place. One's gone up, one's gone down tonight. Todd Martin up 9 spots into the 18th position, and Tim Betts started 18th. He's sitting in 19th place, just tucked in behind that very bright, colourful livery on the Five Goats Racing Team car. Top of the order, quite spread out, 2.5 seconds covers the top 2. Gamble leads Davis, Dibatito then a further 2.5 back. Then it's not far back from Dibatito to King and Weston, so they'll be well aware that any of these drivers could steal the podium with a little bit of luck towards the end, or a bit of misfortune for one of the other drivers around them. But Gamble looks like he's starting to streak away towards a victory. We will hopefully talk to the top 3 drivers at the end. If they're watching along, make sure you're getting yourself charged and ready for have a quick chat. And I'll also take you across shortly and just show you or link you up to where you need to go for WKMP TV, because I know they'll be keen and standing by over on their channel. So I'm just going to send you a little link now, which hopefully will work. We'll try and get the right link this time. Sometimes it gives you a link, sometimes it doesn't. I'm board with Scott Weston here though, as he continues to fight after Dibatito and King. So I'm going to just share this one. Hopefully this works for him. Stick it over in the chat. But at the end of tonight's broadcast, head straight across to YouTube, and the Donga Karts and Parts will be hosting the broadcast. I'm not sure if John puts up a preview like I do, which I could link you straight to, but if he did, that would be fantastic, so I could actually link people straight to the event. But there's a link anyhow, so head over there after this race tonight, and I'll also put it up into the chat so you can see. And yeah, good fight right down the order here. This is Betts and Martin. This is continuing on. Richard Barella just in front of them. And Mark Peck goes through an excursion late in the race, comes on just in front of Jason Scala, and luckily no contact. Lap 52, 10 and a bit to go. Scala with a good run. Let's jump down onto the onboard here and see if he can't get ahead. Peck get himself into 11th, and he's only 1 position off the top 10. Simon Pitt tonight holds that 10th position. And Simon Pitty Pitt, what a great drive. 12 positions up. His mate started 22nd and running along beautifully in 10th place. Troy Closterman in the house says, Hoff, your car's looking a bit second hand. Nice to see you there, Troy. Hope you're doing well. Just seeing you get out there in the car and having a race as well. But yeah, let's have a quick look at Andrew Hoffman. Car looks all right here. I'm not sure if you're live or watching it on a delay there, Troy, but his car looks much better now than it did earlier tonight. He was in pieces earlier. He's got everything bolted back on now. And everything looks okay. Up the front, is there any chance that Scott Gamble, with a 3.3 second lead, will throw this away? Remember, half an hour into the race at the start, he lost concentration. He went off and hit the fence. At that point, threw away the lead as Travis Hunt comes through for his, I think, drive-through penalty. He lost concentration, hit the fence, threw away the lead, and what are we, about an hour and 7 minutes later, he's back in the lead and walking away with it, but still got probably a good 20 minutes to go. And if he makes any mistake now, as Jamie McKnight would say, who's watching, he'll headbutt victory in the head. And he crosses the line with a 43.9. And at the moment, still, I'd like to point out this man, King, joined the JWM eMotorsport team and has not looked back. Gee whiz, he's consistent now. And up 12 spots into the top 4. Can he get a podium here? Because this is the battle for P3. And it's a 3-way battle for P3. You've got Jason Dibatito up 3 in 3rd. You've got John King up 12 in 4th. And Scott Weston up 6 into 5th place. All battling over this, the final step on the podium. And that's what we want to see. The HSR car using all its tyres there. We'll look out the back. You can see King just needs to probably be patient here. Just work on the second half of this lap. Just work on getting good exit now, good braking zones, everything right, rolling through the corner, not getting any wheel spin, and then just concentrating on the last couple of corners. If you can get a good exit onto the pit straight, you should be able to get alongside and make the pass work. And then you're on for the goods. Good points, P3, in a split 2 race. Take that any day you can. But he's got to keep in mind there's a couple of other drivers very, very hungry for this final position on the podium. One of them is Scott Weston, Type N eSports driver. Let's jump on board with him for a moment. You'll be thinking the exact same thing. Right, if I can get a good exit down the bottom of the hill here through the 2 left-handers, double left-handers coming up now. Here he goes. Stay on board. Listen for the wheel spin. Perfect. So he got off the corner well. I think King probably a little bit better. You always get that effect of piano accordion, where the cars in front will just get away a little bit. Tends to then even out mid-straight, and then you'll start to close up with the slipstream. But he's on the limiter. I'll tell you what, he's on the limiter about 300 metres before the corner. And wowee. Tito holds on. Gamble leads the race out in front, 4.8 seconds. Good night, see you later. There is the Wodonga Cars and Parts YouTube channel. Make sure you've gone across there and given that a subscribe, which I did last week. Ring that little bell. And I'm not sure if it'll show up yet, but they will be showing an event in all these. Gee, you've done a few broadcasts here, Johnny. Not bad at all. More than I've done on YouTube, considering RACESTARS TV is still on a 90-day hiatus. Hopefully coming back in, what are we, about maybe 70 days from now? Who knows? But wowee. This is great, isn't it? As we look back, let's go back to this battle of Fewens. Apparently driving with level 3 COVID. And at the moment, trying to fight off here a couple of hungry competitors, Troy Sipple and Roy Clark, who's now re-engaged this battle on the back of Sips as we run up the hill. Clark's up 19 spots tonight. He is our biggest mover and shaker officially. And Travis Hunt is the opposite, the driver that's lost the most positions tonight, 23 for him. But what a drive from Roy Clark. Really between himself and Warren Davis. Warren Davis in P2. There's a lot of PRA up there, isn't it? It's fantastic. Clark, Sybil, Fewens, chasing down Paul Hayes. Bit of a lonely drive for him. 4 seconds up the road, 3.5 back. 111 would just have his relative up now, or his delta. Probably just making sure he hits his lap times in these late stages in the race. You just got to try and find a way to keep your concentration level up. Now King's under attack here. Weston really now putting the pressure on. Here he goes, side by side. And can he get a switch back up the hill now? So on board with Scotty. Needs a good exit out of there. Look at the wheel spin from King. So that'll hurt him. Not sure Weston should try and overtake at the top of the hill though. This is where it can get a little bit sketchy. He brakes early, make sure he doesn't get right underneath the wing. Now we go down the hill. And King will need to get this in check because Weston's coming so fast and he looks like he's got a better set of tyres under him as well. And King stopped on lap 39, Weston on lap 40, so Weston's tyres are 1 lap younger. And will that pay dividends in the late stages of this race? Into the braking zone we go. And still, King holds 4th place. This is helping Jason Dibattito move away in 3rd. You can just see him up the road and he's probably loving every second of this battle behind because it's just helping ease that pressure for P3. You see Davis already through the final corner. Gamble already halfway down the straight. So is the gap between them, but good exit this time from Weston down the pit straight. Can he get himself alongside and possibly in front? Lap 56 of 62, 45s for all the drivers in the top 5 except for Gamble and Davis, both in the 44s, a low 44 for Gamble as well. There is no stopping him tonight, a 44-1 on lap 55 of this race. Looking very, very strong in front by 6.2 seconds now. I think that lead's doubled in the last couple of laps. It's interesting when you go to different battles, there's still a bit of rage out there, but there's also some eerie silences when you head across to some of them as well. This is Peter van der Kraan and Andrew Hoffman. There's a little bit of chatter between them on the race control channel as well. Not sure if they've had a coming together or what's going on there. Hoffman at the moment back into 14th place. Let's go back to the King battle. This isn't over. Oh, Dibattito just went across the curb and he's going to lose position here. John King got overly excited. He lit up the rear tyres. That would have been an easy P3 for King, but you could just see as soon as he saw the mistake from Dibattito, he quickly jumped on the throttle, and now he still gets down the inside, but I think he's gone too deep. So all three of these guys fighting hard, and Dibatito goes from a podium back to 5th now. King finds himself in a podium position for JWM Motorsports. And great job for a split 2 podium tonight, but Scott Weston, oh, Dibatito pits as well, can you believe? So Jason Dibatito, not sure what's gone wrong for him tonight, but he's had to come into the pits with 5 to go. Maybe he didn't take enough fuel, but that's devastating. So that removes one driver from this 3-way battle. We've got a 2-way fight now for the podium between King and Weston. And gee, you know what? I give props to Scotty Weston. I think he's driven great tonight, but I'd also love to see John King just come home with one. I think he's worked really hard over the last few weeks, and this season in particular, since joining JWME Motorsports. And well, you give it to either of them, wouldn't you? They're both great guys, both great drivers, and it's Ford versus Holden. That's what we love to see. King's probably making more mistakes at the moment than Weston, though. They get alongside. So King locked a brake once again, went wide. Weston had a look and decided, I'll just wait. King still holding on to P3. He's got to get himself just settled now. That was a ragged lap. He's done what he had to do. He put pressure on Dibatito, and Dibatito unfortunately has to go through the pits. Lap car now getting out of the way. That's might be Travis Hunt. Weston with a good look down the inside though. Under brakes, not close enough. King holds on. And is that Paul Hayes? No, it's not. So it was Paul Hayes further back. It was his teammate getting out of the way as they came through to put a lap on Travis Hunt. Can you believe he's down a lap now? And then Roy Clark and Simon Pitt, and also Troy Sippel. Battle for 7th. That's our other closest battle out on the racetrack. Keep an eye on this for the last 4 or 5 laps of this race. Simon Pitt, can he get himself up another position as well? Jamie says, where's Gambo? Has he already finished? He's 7.8 seconds up the road. What a drive. Just checked out. You can already taste the champagne, that's for sure. As Simon Pitt looks for a way past on Roy Clark. And Clark, he's got the elbows very much sharpened here tonight. And he doesn't want to let Simon Pitt through. It's all points in the bag towards the championship. These guys know it's important. I read in the rules that the last 2 rounds of this season, the drop rounds are not included. So we'll know at round 10 how the championship points stand with the 2 drop rounds removed. Then round 11 and 12 have to run. The drivers need to run in those 2 rounds for them to count. And I love that. I think that's a good initiative taken from the series organisers to make sure that it does come down to the wire. Oh, we got a spinner there. Fewens. What's he done? He was driving so well tonight. He's dropped back to 10th. He bags it up in frustration. And Jason has just put himself back into 10th, maybe under fire here from Quain, who'll get a pretty good run at him down the pit straight. But a mistake there. A late mistake from Jace Fewens. And here goes Michael Quain to get alongside and try and put the move on him. Fewens will block the door and say, no, you're not coming through. But a shame that was going so well. Clarkie and Pitt still engaged over this P6 battle. So good gains to 22 spots for Clark, 15 for Pitt, 5 for Troy Sippel. Lap 59 of 62. They've been driving out there for an hour and 49 minutes. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do that length of race. Well, one without coughing, but especially at Imola. I was struggling a bit tonight. So it's yeah, just to do that length of race and not throw it off into the weeds or into the fence. It's incredible how these guys even go that long without needing to go for a toilet break. It's beyond me. Clark, Sipple, Beck, I think it's going to finish that way. Simon, this is his strategy all night, isn't it? I've been liking this. Simon Pitt, he does a little bit of weaving in the wing mirrors of the car in front, and it has already unsettled one driver tonight. I've forgotten who it was, but it works to his advantage. How secure is Roy Clark though for this P6? Can Simon Pitt unsettle him, sneak through for another couple of points in this championship? Pitty just saying, I had so much fun. Roy, that's what we want to see. Wheel-to-wheel racing at its best. V8 veterans over the age of 40. You wouldn't think so. You'd think these are young teenagers out there having a fight of their life, but yeah, just having the time of their lives, these blokes. Craig Healy says, we need a toilet break, just can't go, Luke. Didn't someone suggest? Someone suggested in the V8 vets they should have a half-time. Everyone stops on the main straight and turns their motors off while they have a toilet break, something like that. Oh, Simon Pitt almost into the back there of Clark, and then he squeezed the brake pedal a little bit too hard and almost went around. Well, Quaney's wide there as well. The Hoff gets through, so Quane's just made a mistake and drops back to 12th. Hoff up into 11th. Good recovery from the Hoff, considering he had all bits and pieces hanging off that car at the start of the race. He's now used this second half of the race to really pull through back through the field and get maximum points recovery from what would have been a disastrous night otherwise. So great drive, Andrew Hoffman. But let's give some attention to this guy out in front, Scotty Gamble. And it's been a mega drive. He's going to start lap 61, so 2 to go. And the gap has come down. Just noticed that now. It's 2.8 now. What happened on that lap for Gamble? He had some sort of off track which we missed. But has he done himself a little bit of damage here? It's 2.6. So he just did a 49.5. A 1 minute 49.5 was the lap time for Gamble. And I just want to have a listen on board here to check he's got fuel. It's always my biggest fear when I start to see a driver losing time this late in the race. But maybe a little bit of a fuel issue. But Gamble, what's the gap now? It's come down more. No, it hasn't, but you can see how much closer Warren Davis is now for PRA. Imagine a Warren Davis win tonight. It's 2.9 the margin. Wouldn't that be a ripper of an evening for Warren if you could get this home in front of Scott? But I think Scott just had a moment. We'll see what this lap time is now that he's got it back together. The gap's just gone to 2.7, so keep an eye on that. 2.6, it just drops down a little bit again. Is there one little last chapter to this book? 2.5 now. 2.6, it's yo-yoing around. Get yourselves ready to flick across, of course, to WKNP TV. Standing by over there. There it is, the YouTube channel. You can head across there and catch up with John Van Ree in the driver's lounge for split 3 straight after this event tonight. So get yourselves ready for that. Just WK&P with a little N symbol, TV on YouTube. Last ditch battle here between the Fewens and the Hoff as Gamble starts the final lap of the race. The gap back out to 3 seconds. So he looks like he's got everything back in order. This is a nice little fight for the final 10th place. So I tell you what, Hoff here, he's knocking on the door of the top 10 once again tonight. Just needs to pass Jason Fewens, who has had that spin a couple of laps ago. He'll still probably be feeling a little bit frazzled from that. He knows he wants to keep this in check. Clark, by the way, still our biggest mover and shaker tonight. Hats off to Roy. He's got himself 22 spots up in the road and still maintaining a gap over Simon Pitt, if only just. Off to the outside. Fewens goes defensive. Hoff closes right up onto the back of him now. We'll look back for Fewens' car. There's a shot we like to see. Close racing into the second chicane. What's Hoff going to do here? He's late on the brakes. Almost hit the back bar. Gee whiz, that's close, isn't it? He's up on the curb as well. Scotty Gamble halfway around the final lap. bringing it home. The back end wagging for Fewens. Let's go across to Gamble as he heads down the hill into the bus stop for the final time. Clips the curb through the left-hander. Only a couple of corners to go now. He must be feeling like, okay, it's going to be a win. It's all feeling good. Enough fuel in the tank. He did a 45.5 last time around, so that little hiccup with a few laps to go was just that. It was just a hiccup. And put your hands together for this man. He's driven a great race. He's come back from that mistake at the start as well. But Scott Gamble is going to take a victory in round number 7 of season 11, split 2. Scotty Gamble wins it by 1.6 seconds in the end over Warren Davis. Great finish. Davis with P2. That's a great result for the PRA driver, and Scotty Weston will cross the line for Type N eSports after a Type N eSports win in split 1 last night with Greg Favell. It is Scott Weston going across the line to get P3 and on the podium ahead of John King, who deserved the podium tonight. He'll be happy with that. Big slide in the background for someone, but King gets himself 4th ahead of Hayes, who gets 5th. Clark comes home in 6th, up 22 spots. Pitt gets 15 spots up into 7th for a great result tonight. Troy Sipple crosses the line in 8th ahead of Mark Peck and Jason Fewens, your top 10. The Hoff gets 11th tonight ahead of Quain, DiPetito, Vanderkran. Viger was in there as well. And then you had Betts, Scala, Barella. Martin got 19th tonight in the race. Followed then by 20th was Wayne Lecombe. Craig Healy got 21st with Rice, Bordock, Duggan Hunt, Arkle Rell and Latham down in 28th. And it was Freeman Slater and Andrew Galley, Farrington and Kelleher down at the back of the order. Right, we're going to go talk to some drivers shortly, so don't go anywhere. We'll get the top 3 hopefully for a quick chat, and we'll wrap it all up here from Imola for round number 7. Right, so let's get our top 3 in for a chat, and we'll get our race winner tonight, Scotty Gamble. Well done, man. What an up and down race after obviously that little hiccup at the start where you put it in the fence, but you brought it back in the end for a great win.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. It was really good fun. Yeah, there was a few dramas along the way, and yeah, it looked like there was a bit going on through the mid-pack as well. So yeah, overall it was a really good race, and enjoyed it.
Did I have it right when you just maybe lose a bit of concentration when you do have like an 8-second lead or something? You just lose a bit of concentration?
Yeah, you do, mate. You start thinking of something else, and yeah, and before you know it, you're in the fence.
It was incredible to watch though, and you did well. You even had a little hiccup with a couple of laps to go there. We didn't see it, but what was it? Just an off track?
Yeah, I had a half spin. What I was trying to do with the last 10 laps was do a fast lap and then do a slow lap by like half a second, and then do a fast lap. I just wanted to see how the car and the tyres would hold up to, heating them up and then cooling them off, heating them up, and yeah, and I pushed it too far at the end, and I'd done a half spin. Yeah, anyway, it was good fun. Great to watch. And then obviously tonight, Warren, great drive, man, P2, and some really tough battles that you had to endure there, but you got home for a top 2 tonight. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Finally get to talk to you after all this time, mate.
It's been a while, but hey, the PRA guys doing very well tonight. Great drive.
Yeah, it wasn't one I expected to do well at. I don't. It's not one of my favourite tracks. And actually, in qualifying, in practice, I was way back mid-20s, and then it just all sort of clicked for me, and I managed to put it on the sort of P3 for the start. Had a pretty good race, and then towards the end. Had some great battles with Jason, and Scotty Weston was in there for a little bit as well. And the last, I think about 15 laps, I had 1 incident point left. And so I was just concentrating on getting it around the track. One more and I'd have to get a drive through.
Yeah, right.
So I just resigned myself to second position. I wasn't going to catch Scott anyway. I probably could have gone a little bit harder, but I just trying to keep it going around the track. With that 1 more instant point and I would have been gone, so I was kind of backing off a little bit, but I wasn't going to catch Scott. It's too quick. Well done, mate. Enjoy it.
Yeah, nice. And talk us through that little moment on lap 1 as well. A bit of a hip and shoulder, and man, after a week's practice and qualifying and all that jazz, to then be off the track for a second, did you think, oh no, my night's done?
Yeah, I didn't get off the line well, so I got a little bit of rear wheel spin off the line, and I could just see him coming up the inside of me. So I tried to cover it as best I could, and it's that little, because the straight's not actually straight at the end. There's a little kink to the left, so he's just he hasn't actually driven into me. Fence, he's just kept. We've both held the same line, but it's actually the track turned slightly left, so. He's just shunted me a little bit on the side there, so it's just a racing issue, it's no fault. But just glad we both managed to hold on to it and get back onto the track.
Yeah, watching the replay of it there, it was high speed and you did do well to not spin into the fence, so well done on the recovery.
Yeah, my butt cheeks were clenching, don't worry about that.
Rip a hole out of the chair. Well done, mate. Scotty, let's do some thank yous, starting with you, mate. Great win tonight, and the Logitech G Evolution Racing Team car looks great in the Anzac livery as well, man. Well done on the team for putting that together. And who would you like to thank?
Yeah, thanks, Luke. I'd like to thank the admin at V8 Veterans, the drivers. Congratulations to the podium guys and throughout the field. There were some really good drives. Thanks to our sponsors in Logitech G, Panther Racing Fuel, Harvey Norman, Galvanise Insurance, AMD, Acer, and of course the guys and girls at ERT. They do a great job, and yeah, thank you to all.
Awesome, man. Well done, Scotty, with the win tonight. And then P2, Warren, who would you like to thank?
Well, got to start with the Banner Alliance, which is PRA and Emu Sim Racing. Those guys help me keep my sanity every week with their shenanigans, which is pretty good. And also CR Wichello Construction, Bates Coffee, Vehicle Finance Solutions, White Twine Design, Grandview Remedial Massage, and lastly, Luke, yourself, and RACESTARS, and everyone else do a fantastic. It's an awesome start. You do a really great job, mate. I don't know how you talk for 2 hours, but you managed to do it. And yeah, and just a quick thanks to Ben and all the admin and race control guys, because they do an awesome job as well, and all the other drivers. It's just I just have a ball racing every weekend. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Yeah, such a great series, and you guys make it fun. So thanks, Scott, with the win tonight. It's great to have you chatting for us. And also Warren Davis, P2 for PRA. Congratulations. We'll see you next week for round 8, and looking forward to hopefully seeing you both back on the podium again.
Cheers, Luke.
Thanks, Luke.
Guys. That was your top 2. We didn't have Scotty Weston with us tonight, but he has, via Craig Healy, said, can't make the green room, Luke, but wants to thank all the sponsors and a special mention to the Goldfish. So there you go, whatever that's about. There's Scotty Weston on the screen. And Scotty Weston has put himself to 7th in the championship now after that round. So Paul Hayes still leads. The Scorpion Esports still 1-2. Travis Hunt 2nd in the championship by 30 points. John King up into 3rd in the championship with Rick Viger. Warren Davis your top 5 in that Split 2 championship. So the series points well alive. And we're only just on halfway through. So still a long way to go. And plenty of drivers down there as well. You can just see, I'm actually just trying to find Scotty Gamble. He's down there on 540 points. He didn't do all the races at the start of the season, but he's quickly moving his way up that ladder. Fantastic job. Right, that's all for tonight. Make sure you head across now to WKMP TV. They're standing by. I'm not sure if they're live yet, but they will be shortly. And it'll be for the Split 3 affair. So there is a shot. They are live. Look at this. We can actually bring them up picture in picture here. And let's hope I don't get a YouTube strike for this, because that would be hilarious, wouldn't it? But there you go. The driver's lounge over there, standing by. You can head across and watch that to your heart's content, and even get involved in their conversation. It'll be a lot of fun. Righto, folks. That's it for tonight. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you over on Facebook to Keith, our lone star giver tonight. Thanks for the 100 stars, man. Everyone else, take care. Have a safe weekend. And I'll see you Sunday night for the Australian Sports Car Championship. Until then, catch ya.